broader perspective. Public affairs segment, giving the masses a grasp of informative, educative, and entertaining updates on current issues while guiding them to follow the latest development in the society.
You're welcome to Public Affairs on Beam Television. My name is Blessing Ambrose. It's always a delight when we are here to give you a grasp of informative, educative, and entertaining updates on current issues while guiding you to follow the latest development in the society. And today, we want to look at workers' welfare. There are so many issues embedded in this topic we are going to talk about. We are going to look at the new minimum wage. How have they implemented this new minimum wage? Is it really complementing the reason that they came up with this to alleviate poverty? So we'll go on a short break where we are going to interact with different sectors, hear people's opinion on this, and when we are back, we are going to interact with some personalities in different sectors. So do well to stay with us.
With the increase in food products, transportation, accommodation, and other basic needs in Nigeria, one is left to wonder if the main aim to increase the minimum wage to alleviate poverty has truly fulfilled its purpose. Report by an international e-commerce company shows that the minimum wage, which is the lowest remuneration that employers can legally pay their employee, cannot cater for the monthly need of an adult. Value of basic food products for a healthy living of an adult in a month at the beginning of 2020 stood at 40,980 naira, which is higher than the 30,000 naira minimum wage in Nigeria. This represents a 15.59% increase compared to the beginning of 2021. The labor unions like TUC, NLC, ASU, and others have in various times agitated for a wage increase and general welfare of Nigerian workers. Besides the wage increase, the income stability of a working class has a chain impact on the business community and society at large. Unfortunately, almost all the minimum wage increases in the past have resulted in the national industrial strikes to compel the government to come to the table for negotiations. Sadly, even when this had been agreed by the federal and state government, some states are still yet to implement the new minimum wage. How can this situation be reversed to create stability in the future? What solutions can we prefer to this lingering labor challenge?
We must make use of what we have now before the situation gets worse than the present situation. So we are participating in 2023 politics. We want to use all our strength, our number, our voice, and the rest with the populace to ensure that whoever that is going to lead us, either at state level or local level, or even at the national level, must be people of integrity, people that can deliver, people that can stop this suffering, because it's getting out of hand in this country.
How can we tackle fuel scarcity and increase in price in petroleum products? And is workers' welfare one of the priorities in a country like Nigeria?
So we are coming up with TUC economy. We are going to have TUC economy where we can, have our own business to relieve our members, as everybody believes now that you must have a plan B. So we want to plan for our members so that in case of eventualities, they can have where to run to. So a lot of things. We'll engage government more. We are going to encourage our members to also contest for position in politics, so that if they are there, they can represent us very well. I can tell you the worst of labor will be the best of politicians.
Imagine a society where the people cannot afford to live, even they are working. Even if you pay somebody 100,000 naira in Nigeria, what does it mean? It means nothing, because a bag of rice is 135,000 for you to buy a good rice. Then if you buy a bag of rice for 35,000, don't you think you are going to make, a cylinder of gas is going to about 10,000 naira for 12.5 kg. How much is left in your salary? Talk about transportation. What Nigerians should be thinking of how to make the ends meet with or without money. Should we be talking about minimum wage in Nigeria? How much do they pay a Nigerian as a minimum wage? Then of what impact can it make in his house, in his family, in his own life? When we're talking about minimum wage, we should think of a way of making life to be better for the Nigerians. Not talking about money. So because if you are equating it to money, I don't know how much they're going to pay them, because the situation of things today does not even give a chance for any amount of money.
Always we believe in faith. But if you compare this government, seriously, we are going backward. There's no progress. Why? Because all the masses are suffering, isn't it? That minimum wage before, goods are so low, but now when minimum wage come, things are going high.
Fact, to me and to many Nigerians, we don't think implementation of Nigeria minimum wage is our problem. What is our problem mainly is security, first. And the cost of living standard in Nigeria today is very worst. The time when people are collecting 15,000, bag of rice is 8,000. If you do minimum wage of 30,000 and the bag of rice is 32,000, where are we going? The time we are buying pure water, even 20 naira, now one is 20 naira. The time we are buying a bag of semobita, 2,150, now is 6,000 naira. Implementation of minimum wage or no minimum wage is not our problem. The cost of living in Nigeria is the main problem we are facing, and security challenges.
People are suffering, even to see carry drink. The poverty is biting harder and harder. Who doesn't know? Even the baby in the womb, if the mother didn't eat well, it will begin to turn up and
through my observation, a minimum wage will not even have any impact. Because when a minimum wage was supposed to be implemented, a lot of states now, they have not implemented it. Some are running away from it, taking our money to Dubai, taking our money to places to go and spend. A lot of them doesn't care what the masses are suffering. You see that the issue of dollar now has increased. Dollar is no longer used to be the way it is, it has gone up. So that 30,000 naira, the minimum wage, cannot even take somebody to the market.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.
Welcome back from the short break, and I believe that you've heard a little of what is going on in our country, Nigeria. This is a program that will look at those issues, those biting issues in the society, bring it to fore, bring up people that will propose solutions to those problems or issues of yours. So today, we'll have someone in the studio, the chairman of National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Ekbonta Esquire. He will be sharing with us what we need to know, how governments have implemented those things that he said he's going to do in terms of the new minimum wage, and how he's looking into the welfare of workers. Very important. So you welcome the chairman to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, before we go into the issue of the day, we want to look at, it is pertinent that we take our mind back to what we did in 2021 before we look at the prospect in 2022. A lot of things happen, and when we enter a new year, one of the things that we do is to review what happened in the last year and what we all should expect in the new year. So can we know what the commission did well and did not do well in 2021?
Last year, 2021, we had a lot of industrial crisis, particularly in the health and education sectors. And this commission acted as advisor to the federal government of Nigeria. We are always part of any negotiation that was going on. But I would like to state that by advising the federal government of Nigeria does not make us have an issue, a sole advisor to government, because the way this commission is structured, we have on our board a tripartite arrangement where the federal government is represented. We also have labor represented on our board, and then we'll have employers represented on our board. So we are bound by the very structure of this organization to render technical advice to all parties, not just government alone. And we extend our services to state and local governments that are interested, because some of the policies we pass at the federal level get domesticated at the state levels for implementation in their states if they find such circulars and policies adaptable by them. We're running a federating system. You can't impose your views on other federating units. So basically, we were very much instrumental to helping resolve quite a number of the industrial crises that we witnessed last year. I think the year ended very well because prior to December, you had this extended labor issues in the health sector over hazard allowances for staff of the health sector. We were able to conclude that successfully at the end of the year. You can see where it moved from 5 to 30, and if you're taking the upper limit to about 40.
But we still, even with this, we still heard complaints that the allowance was not paid.
That is not correct. I don't know who you...
That is why they went on that strike. Doctors went on strike.
No. That's not correct. That was not correct information. That was in relation to some hospital staff who were recruited in their various hospitals on locum and had been paid from the internally generated revenue of those hospitals or from overhead. Now, with the advent of IPC, you now have to be paid from a personnel platform. And so those who had done those recruitments without getting a waiver from the office of the head of service were the ones who got caught up in that, because automatically the system removed their names. But for every certified health worker, they received their salaries. Okay. And so that had been resolved by the end of the year because the head of service graciously, I use the word graciously because it was not compulsory, agreed to give extra waivers to recruit those who had been on part-time or contracts to fill up those spaces. The government does not say you cannot recruit in the health sector. It says you should recruit properly, follow the channels. You don't call your friends and give an appointment letter. There are processes that you must follow. And I'm happy that at the end of the day, they also realized that all these things had been done in the good of the system.
Okay. All right, aside from the health hazard allowance for the workers, how about the pension?
Oh, I'm sure you...
I mean, still on last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yes.
I'm happy you're following the trend in the country. Mr. President approved an enhanced pension for all pensioners who are on the defined pension scheme. I need to explain here the difference between the two pension schemes that are running in this country. Okay. One is the defined pension scheme, where government takes full responsibility for paying your pension for life. The second one is the contributory pension scheme. That's as you work, you contribute a percentage of your salary to your preferred PFA. Now, the government used to pay 7.5% of your salary to your PFA, and your own contribution will be 7.5, but it's been moved up now to you paying 8%, and government is paying 10% on your behalf. So when you retire under this new scheme, whatever has been accumulated there is being managed by your PFA in collaboration with the Pension Commission. It's from there that they will give you an upfront payment, and whatever is left will be spread out as monthly pensions. The first one, which is a defined scheme, government decides to pay you based on your terminal salary and allowances those allowances that are eligible to be used for calculating your pensions, and will pay that to you. And the whole idea there is that anytime there is an increase in public service salaries, the Constitution mandates you to also increase pensions. Generally, we're looking at every 5 years. So when we had the National Minimum Wage Act come into play, which took effect from 18th April 2019, the immediate reaction was to also look at an increase in pensions for those who were on the defined pension scheme. And it was one of the happiest days of my life that we could put a smile on the face of pensioners. As a matter of fact, when I got the approval from Mr. President approving what the committee had recommended to government, I was actually in Calabar at a retreat. And I said, if I wait until I come back to Abuja to release the circular, I would lose about 3 days, inclusive of the weekend. So I called a press conference there in Calabar and released that circular. And it was really, really well received generally. And that pension program, the defined pension program, is managed by the PTAG. There's a government body set up. It's a directorate that has been set up to manage that, and its responsibility is to be in place until the last pensioner on that scheme goes.
Okay. All right. So, are you telling us that throughout last year you were able to clear all pensions? There was no debts. Everything was settled, and then you're moving into new year, that's 2022, fresh.
I need to distinguish our function. Our business here is to issue circulars after approval by government and tell the relevant agencies these are the rates that you must use to pay pensioners. Okay. The responsibility of that payment is left with that agency.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you go back to monitor, or you just release a circular and after that your job is done? Whether they pay or they don't pay, you don't have a hand there.
The pensioners will not even allow you, if your business is to pay, that you are not paying. You won't drink water, not in this country. And then when we receive complaints that I have not been paid or I was short paid, and that the payment was not in accordance with the circular you issued, we immediately get in contact with that body and pass those complaints to them and say we would like to have a feedback as to why the following persons have not been paid their pensions. Okay. And why, if they have been paid, they have not been paid in accordance with our circular. If you have any problem as how to interpret our circulars, please come back to us. We always put that clause there.
It's 2022, and I believe from what you have seen as a success in 2021, you hope to improve and step up in that. And what the challenges that you saw in 2021, you want to handle those ones. So can we know the prospect in 2022? What should we expect from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission?
As a matter of fact, we have done our retreat, not just retreat because we want to spend money. We did a 5-year strategic action plan, which came into effect on the 1st of January this year. And so for every year and every month, we know what we are going to do. We've monitored compliance with pensions. We've sent out teams to verify some of these things. And then I want to take you back to the National Minimum Wage Act, which came into being 2019. Within the Act itself, it said we should monitor compliance by all parties, whether public or private sector, and gather facts, principally because that will help us prepare for the next national minimum wage discussions. It will also help us advise government on those who are complying and on those who are not complying. There are sanctions for non-compliance. The only exceptions that if you run a business that you should not pay national minimum wage is also clearly stated in the Act.
Thank you so much, Ekwonta Esquire, for making our time to be with us today and for shedding light on those issues that concern workers' welfare. All right, it was nice interacting with the chairman of National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Ekwonta Esquire, and he has shed light on the issues concerning workers' welfare, and I believe that you've learned one or two things from there. And I know that you have questions to ask him, so do well to send your question to the number on your screen, and we're going to invite him again to attend to those questions. So once again, thank you for being part of Public Affairs on Beam TV. My name is Blessing Ambrose. Do well to always keep a date with us.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.